So we brought you in to talk about resumes. So I'm going to let you have it. I'm about to jump off here and let you go. Here you go.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. So I'm so excited to be with you. Thank you to Watch the Yard and YardCon. I am Elizabeth Fletcher, owner of Wordsmith Resume Writing and Interview Prep LLC. I'm actually based in Houston, Texas, but I can help anyone literally worldwide. And I'm so excited to be here. My hearts and prayers are with you all that are not in school technically right now, but you've definitely accomplished a lot of accomplishments, and I'm here to support you. So I wanted to go over some of the top 5 things that you'll need for your resume now that you are entering into what we say the real world. And don't worry if you hadn't gotten a chance to either finish your internship or finish that job out, because I'm going to help you still be able to make it still all count. So one of the first things that I want you to do for the top 5 is use a professional email address. It's very important that you now establish a professional email address. It could be your name. Keeping it simple is always the best. But I know a lot of you have been using your college email address all this time, so you haven't really had another one. And the one you had from high school is probably now childish. So go on and take the time to make you a simple email address. For me, for example, I'd probably do something like elizabeth.fletcher@gmail.com and keep that for all of your job search to make sure everything is in the same place, not all over the place when you're trying to search for those jobs to be replying to you, and keeping it very professional, because that's one of the first things that we in HR, we look at very closely. Second thing is you need a professional summary. I know that back in 1999, so long ago, people would say to use an objective. We no longer use that. Your professional summary is like a short synopsis about who you are professionally and what you can offer. So that's very important to keep in mind. No longer objective, but a professional summary. Third thing, your education should be listed above your work history at this point in your career, because it's your education that's going to get you that dream job that you've been going to school for the last 4 years for. Congratulations to you. So listing your GPA is a question that I get a lot. And typically we in HR like to advise you to say if it's a 3.5 or above. I'm not telling you that a 3.0 or anything like that is not good, but you want to put that's impressive if you're going to list it. It's not required to list your GPA, but if the job asks for it, definitely so. And if it's a 3.5 or above, you definitely want to list that as well. If you did not have an internship, keep in mind that you can use your 400 level relevant courses that you've used, especially if you are an engineering major, for example, and you know that it was specialty courses that you were able to take in like your 300, 400 level courses, and you didn't get those internships that you wanted to over the last course of your college years. You can definitely use those. After your first year out of college, though, no longer needed to list those relevant courses, okay? So the fourth thing that I'll say is be strategic in describing those unrelated jobs. So use transferable skills. If you've had jobs that you may have worked at a shoe store, or you may have worked at a retail store, a grocery store, wherever it was, that's not specifically dealing with your major, learn those transferable skills. Okay. You can take those skills and transfer it into what that job wants you to by putting those in your accomplished folders as far as using those bullets within your job description. Okay, so dive deep into it, get the help from a mentor, even use the resources that you have within each other. The next thing I'll say for number 5 is extracurricular activities. I know a lot of you are in different respective D9 organizations, SGA, many other great organizations that have taught you a lot of skills that you can use in the workforce. Those are some of your soft skills, leadership skills, teamwork, stuff like that can definitely be used. Honors and different accolades that you've had. And now is also the time to start diving into joining organizations that represent your respective fields. So for instance, there's a lot of organizations like National MBA. I also sit on the board for the Houston Area Urban League Young Professionals, for example. And with the census, we actually are pushing stuff like that to make Black count. So different organizations can all help to lapse each other. And putting that on your resume shows that you have the ability to not only work hard, play hard, but still be able to give back to the community. And the good thing is that a lot of companies these days are really, really big into philanthropy. So they like to see that you're involved in your communities. So don't let your participation in your D9 organizations and other organizations stop on the college level. There's so much more need for you here in the real world. So what not to include, I'll get on that for really second. Do not include your high school accomplishments at this point. Those are no longer needed. You are now a college educated professional. Keep it in between the last 2-3 years of success that you've had. So we don't need you to list any of those high school accomplishments, even if you were on the varsity team or made that winning kick for the touchdown, for the winning game or anything, that touchdown and all of that. We don't need any more of your high school accolades. We want to see what you've done lately. Also, you do not need to list out all of your entire 4 years of coursework. I know I see a lot of people that do that. They like to list out all of the courses you've taken. We know that you've had a completed course. Again, keep in mind, you are more than welcome to use some relevant coursework if it specifically coincides with the job that you're looking for. And again, don't use that objective. But you want to make sure that you do highlight your university leaderships, the roles, any study abroads, and keep all of those in handy. Now, references. References are one of those things that a lot of people love to put on their resume. We do not need you to put their references are available upon request, nor do we need you to actually list out your references now. We can always get that from you later. I like to tell people that your application is the legal binding contract. That is very important. The resume gets you the interview, and the interview then gets you the job. I know a lot of times people like to say, well, conversation rules the nation. So that resume should get you in front of the hiring manager to then say, okay, he looks good on paper. She looks good on paper. Let me bring that person on in and put a face to a name. So keep all of that in mind. I know that someone is going to talk to you about LinkedIn. That is very important with your network, linking all of that. You're also more than welcome to put your LinkedIn profile on your resume at the top with all of your information. One thing that I do also want to let you guys know before I go is to keep in mind that you do not need to list your actual home address on your resume. It's very dangerous and it's not needed. Save your address for your actual job application. What you can put on your resume is the city, state, and zip code. If you are looking to move abroad, my advice to you is to use that specific city and state unless that employer is going to possibly pay for you to be remote. If not, list where they want you to be to show that you have accessibility to get there. But please, you guys, please do not put your home address on your resume, because what if that resume gets on Indeed? Indeed, for example, is one of those search engines that you do not have to be someone of a specific corporation or anything to get those resumes. So just keep in mind that you wouldn't want to tell a stranger where you live. So keep that in mind also when it comes to your resume. I look forward to answering any questions in the chat. I plan on definitely getting involved in it, and I'm not going anywhere. You can definitely find me on social media. On Instagram, it's Wordsmith Resume or HR Bay. And I also have a website, www.wordsmithresume.com.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
That was really helpful. I didn't know the thing about Indeed where like if you put your address in your resume, it can like pop up all over the internet.
Well, it won't pop up everywhere, but anyone can access it. So if I was not an HR person, I can log into Indeed to then do my own job searches so that if I want to have a position for my mom and pop shop, for example. So you want to be able to give that to me willingly, not me being able to see that you live on 111. Make me think about the sycamore stick. You know, you don't want popping up at your house.
Well, thank you for coming through. We're actually about to bring up Renee next. So thank you so much. She's going to be in the chat talking to people. So if you guys have any questions, ask away. So we're about to bring Renee on right now from LinkedIn.